Hey guys, and welcome to my first video on this channel. In this video I'm going to show you how to draft your own skirt pattern. For my sample I used the measurements for a size 12, but if you check the description I've left a downloadable file of a step-by-step guide, and in that file has measurements from sizes 6 up to 22 as far as I remember. Okay, so for this pattern you're going to need paper of your choice. I'm using some spot and cross paper, but you can use brown paper, white paper, whichever you want. You're going to need a set square, a French curve ruler, a measuring tape, scissors, a marker, pen and pencil. And then you don't really need this, but if you have it, even better. It's a hole puncher and a notcher, and then you'll need a tracing wheel. Taking your paper, you're going to want to mark in point 1. Using a set square, you're going to want to square it down and across. I'm following the dots on the piece of paper because I want to keep a straight line, but if you want you can just use the edge of your page using the ruler to kind of get that clean straight line, because it's very important because you want your pattern to be exactly right and not off. Okay, so from point 1 you're going to want to measure across half of the hip measurement and then add 1.5 centimeters. At this point, mark in 2. So using your set square, you want to square down from 2 and then mark this line as your center front line. Okay, so going back to point 1, measure down the length measurement of the skirt. This can be any length that you choose, but I definitely recommend going a more shorter length just because it's a pattern block. And then at this point you're going to want to mark in 3. So from point 3, square across to meet the center front line, and at this line you're going to want to mark in number 4. So from point 1, measure down the waist to hip measurement and then mark in point 5. At point 5, square across to the center front line and then you'll get point 6. So from point 5, measure across a quarter of the hip measurement plus 1.5 centimeters and then mark in 7. At point 7, square down to the hemline and mark in point 8. So back at point 1, measure across a quarter of the waist measurements plus 4.25 centimeters and mark in 9. So at point 9, measure up 1.25 centimeters and mark in 10. Then you're going to want to join points 10 and 7 together with a dotted line. Then you're going to want to join point 1 and point 10 together with a dotted line also. On the dotted line from 1 to 10, you're going to want to divide it into 3 parts, and then you're going to want to mark in points 11 and 12. Using that dotted line from 1 to 10, you want to square down from points 11 and 12 with a dotted line. At point 11, measure down 14 centimeters and you'll get point 13. and and then at point 12 measure down by 12.5 centimeters to get point 14. So at point 11 measure 1 centimeter each side of that point and mark in with a small dot. These you're going to join with point 13 and this will create a dart. You're then going to want to repeat that again for point 12. So taking your French curve ruler, you're going to want to curve the waistline from points 1 to point 10. Okay, so at the side seam from point 10 to point 7, you're going to want to curve that out. So find the midway point between 7 and 10 and then go out by 0.5 centimeters. Then taking your French curve ruler, you're going to give that a really nice curved shape. Okay, so from point 2 to point 15 is a quarter of the waist measurements plus 2.25 centimeters. From point 15, you're going to want to measure upwards by 1.25 centimeters and this will get you point 16. Going back to point 16, you're going to want to draw a dotted line joining 16 with point 7. From point 16, draw a dotted line joining it to point 2. Okay, so the distance from point 16 to point 17 is 1/3 of the distance from point 16 to point 2. Using the line 16 to 2, square down from point 17 using a dotted line. Then from point 17, measure down 10 centimeters down the dotted line and you'll get point 18. Going back to point 17, you're going to want to measure 1 centimeter each side of that point and mark it in with a small dot. Then you're going to want to join those 2 dots with point 18 and this will create your dart. And then at the side seam, point 16 to point 7, you're going to want to curve that out again, the same as the last time. Find the midway point and then measure out with 0.5 centimeters and then give that really nice curve of the hips. So taking your French curve ruler again, you're going to want to curve the waistline from points 16 to point 2. And that is your finished block. So what you're going to want to do now, which I haven't featured in this video, but if you would like to see a video showing you how to do it, I've no problem doing that, just let me know. But you're going to want to transfer this pattern onto some cardboard so that you have a more solid form. So you're going to want to just transfer them, put in your drill holes and then your notches in your side seams and in your darts. So again, if you want to see that in another video, just let me know. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.